Hey guys, my name is Moon and welcome to the channel. So today we're gonna be starting a new series called Higurashi When They Cry. So we're gonna be starting with chapter 1, Onikakushi. So for this series in general, I don't really know a lot about it. I know there's an anime or animes, there's a lot, right? And I know this one is a horror or horror aspects, horror thingies to it. We will have to see. And I'm very, very excited for this one as it is set in a village, right? Like some of my favorite animes are set in villages, like Shiki, if you know Shiki, horror anime, supernatural, and it was pretty nice. So yes, for this one, we're using a mod called 7th mod. It's pretty much making the game much more modern, like the sprites, the text, everything. So I'm gonna be using that mod for all of the chapters that we're gonna do. There's 8 chapters for this one, so there's quite a lot. And before we start, I just want to say thank you very much. If you clicked on this, just check it out. I want to say thank you, and I really, really appreciate it. So yes, let us begin. Let us start. Higurashi When They Cry. Onikakushi opening. Demon Away chapter. Welcome to the world of Higurashi When They Cry. The Onikakushi arc will be the opening, inviting you into this world. So sit back, relax, and enjoy life in Hinamizawa to the fullest. The difficulty for this chapter is extremely high? What? But I hope you will enjoy the reward. What do you mean extremely high? Isn't this a visual novel? What? Okay. Oh hell no. What is that? What is this? Please do not deplore yourself. Even if the world does not forgive you, I will forgive you. Please do not deplore yourself. Even if you do not forgive the world, I will forgive you. So please tell me, what will it take for you to forgive me? Frederica Berncastel. Okay, it is a work of fiction. Okay, I thought it was real. AD 1983. What is happening, by the way? They're smacking all over the place. Okay, there's blood there, and if I was going to be ripped apart anyways, having my ripped apart or body ripped apart would have been far better. I trusted her. No, I still trust her. Even in this very moment, I trust her. But I'm starting to realize I only wanted to trust her because I refused to accept the truth. It was as if I was trying to convince myself in such a silly, sobbing voice. And those tears making a mess of my face. The mechanical, repetitive sound finally stilled and everything felt silent. Only the cry of the cicadas remained annoyingly loud. And yet, I felt as if I could still hear her voice. I'm sorry if I get the pronunciations wrong on some of the words, okay? The Japanese words, I mean. But that's not possible. She's no longer speaking. The only one crying is me. She never cried. Even when she repeated those words over and over, she never expressed any emotion because there were none to show. If she had no tears to shed for me, then I shouldn't need to shed any for her. Then why? This pain, my eyes getting moist. Why was this happening? I still wanted to believe I hadn't been split apart. That's enough, right? Inside me, an inner voice whispered gently. My spirit had suffered enough, and countless times I'd wavered over whether I should just throw the battered thing away. Except I've suddenly refused to do that, haven't I? I'd feel better if I just threw it away, even knowing that I chose to believe I didn't, or didn't I? Only I can understand that painful struggle and appreciate it. Hey me, I've tried more than enough. I'll acknowledge that much. So, isn't it alright to just take the easy way out? Besides, I'm not throwing it away. I'm leaving it behind. with her, like flowers by a grave. Now then, calm your nerves. Even though you can't feel your right arm, just lift it up. And with every swing, forget a little more. So it's definitely like hitting someone. That kindness made me happy. That adorable smile brought me joy. I like petting your head. I love how demure you were. Jesus. Because this will be the last time. Because when I swing this down, I'll forget. This is my first and last bouquet for you. Perhaps I really did love you. Okay? Higurashi when they cry. So basically, we'll see who did that, who is doing that, and to who. Somebody's been apologizing for a while now. I wonder what she's apologizing for. It felt wrong to eavesdrop, so I tried to ignore it. It had been a while since I last went to the city. I only returned to attend to a funeral of a relative. Even though I had lived there until last month, I found the bustle of the city to be overwhelming. Those skyscrapers and the multi-lane roads. The melodious cacophony of the crosswalk. Even the campaign speeches blaring in front of the station felt nostalgic. The place where I live now isn't nearly as lively. There's only the chirping of the locusts and the babbling of brooks. And the cry of the Higurashi, the evening cicadas. Cicadas or cicadas? Rather than making me feel lonely, the quietness had begun to instill a sense of serenity. There's nothing where I'm living now. I don't just mean there aren't any burger joints. There aren't even vending machines. No music stores, and no restaurants, and no arcades. An ice cream parlor? No chance. The nearest town is some stuff like that, but it's an hour away by bike. But come to think of it, it wasn't really a big deal. There were music stores and arcades and ice cream parlors where I used to live. But it wasn't like I ever hung out on any of them. I had lived in the city for 10 years and never once been to an ice cream parlor. I should have gone at least once. It's only now that I'm starting to regret that a little. Somebody's still apologizing. Who is she apologizing to? She's apologized too much or so much, so just forgive her already. There's no reason anyone should ever need to apologize so much. I started to feel a bit annoyed at whoever was refusing to forgive her. No matter how bad the mistake, there's nothing that can't be forgiven. There's no such thing as an irreparable mistake. You just need to be more careful next time. She's still apologizing even now. Then has she really done something that can't be fixed? I have no idea what she's done, but if it can't be fixed, then that's all the more reason to forgive her. No matter how much she apologizes, nothing will change. But even so, she keeps apologizing in such a heartbreaking voice. Hey, you, the one she's apologizing to. Why don't you just go ahead and forgive her? She's apologizing in such a pathetic voice.
Keiichi, そろそろ着くぞ。
Keiichi's dad.
起きなさい。
I was finally roused from my nap by my father's prodding. Finally, picture. It seemed the train had reached its final stop. We had spent hours riding everything from the bullet train to the local routes. It was hard to believe that the landscape beyond the window in the city was, in a half a day ago, we're in the same country. Okay, let me, what do you call this? Up this a little bit? Yeah, it's kind of hard to see because it's blending in. I mean, the white font. No, that they were even from the same era. From there, we'd take a car deeper into the mountains. But yeah, Oh, this is a village though, but yeah, it kind of looks cool though. Like it looks like a nice place, I mean. Past where the dense forest encroaching on the mountain road suddenly opened up. I mean, sure, it's a village like this, but it's pretty much like modern. Of course, not compared to an urban city, right? But still, it looks good. There, where I live now, Hinamizawa. Very peaceful village. I want to go here. Even though we were approaching summer, the morning air still had a frigid bite. Although in exchange, you could fill your lungs up with the crisp, clean air. Flipping open the window, I was greeted with a verdant expanse. Nothing but trees. The neighboring house was far away on the other side, so I was probably the only one enjoying that view and that air. I filled my lungs with another deep breath. Since I started living in Hinamizawa, I learned that even air had its own taste. I quickly finished getting ready for school and headed downstairs for breakfast. My mom was the only one there. My father was nowhere to be seen. He was probably up working until the morning. Dad had a rather unconventional job as a painter. It's such a laid-back profession. Get up when you want, sleep when you want, and work when you want. I was so jealous of that easygoing lifestyle. I even wrote for school that I wanted to be a painter when I grew up. Dad was ecstatic about that. It was just because it looked easy. I never tell him that though. Mom laid breakfast out on the table. Seaweed, pickled vegetables, a raw egg, and grilled salmon. Dude, that's your breakfast? Come on, man. My mom was such a good cook, it was scary. A perfect, immaculate, ideal breakfast. You are rich, man. Look at your breakfast. Other people would just get a piece of bread. Unlike my dad, who didn't even know the meaning of the word schedule, my mom never squandered any time or effort. She hummed a little tune as she brought over the miso soup. It seemed like she was in a good mood today.
こっちに引っ越してきてから圭一が早起きになって嬉しいわね。
早起きしないと朝飯を食いそびれるんだよ。
Will we ever see Keiichi's face though? I wanna see Keiichi's face. I thought I was being cute, responding with a wisecrack after being praised for being good.
ご飯はいっぱい？それとも半分くらいでいい？
山盛り。
First, I savored the steaming hot rice with the seaweed. After that, I covered it with the egg. Between bites of rice, I enjoyed the crunch of the pickles. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Excellent as usual. Watching me clean my plate, Mom gave me a warm smile.
こっちに引っ越してきてから圭一が朝食を欠かさないんで嬉しいわね。
Dude, if this is my breakfast every day, I would never skip it. Come on. I was not a morning person when we lived in the city. I slept right until the last minute before school and rarely ate breakfast. Boycotting the breakfast Mom made me each morning, that was probably the only way I could protest being forced to attend cram school. I guess that was what you call my rebellious phase. I wouldn't so much as look at the breakfast she woke up early every day to make. If I could go back in time, I'd slap myself. Mindful of the time, Mom rushed me along with a wide grin.
そろそろレナちゃんと待ち合わせの時間じゃない？
Rena-chan.
急いで急いで。
Mom really seemed to enjoy the fact that her son was going to school with a girl. Rena is one of my classmates. She really loves looking after people, coming to meet me every day without fail. The way I looked at it, at a guy my age walking to school with a girl was just lame. But, well, keeping a classmate waiting for me every day wouldn't be very considerate. Seriously though, how long does Rena wait there for me every morning? Taking one last gulp of the miso soup, I raced for the door.
レナちゃんにお漬物ありがとうって伝えてね。
Come to think of it, those pickles weren't store-bought, were they? If I'd known that, I would have savored them even more.
Ayo!
Where's this Rena-chan? Keiichi-kun. Her cheerful greeting was as fresh as the morning itself.
相変わらず早えな。たまにはのんびり朝寝坊したっていいんだぜ。
お寝坊したらケイチ君を待たせちゃうじゃない。
She's so conscientious and such a good person.
そん時は置いてく。
ケイチ君冷たい。いつも待っててあげてるのに。
サクサク置いてく。キリキリ置いてく。
どうして冷たいんだろう。
Rena had a slightly troubled look on her face. Toying with her was rather fun because of how quickly her mood changed.
嘘。ちゃんと待ってるよ。
With those words, Rena seemed to relax. She's blushing now. Her face blushed bright red. Or flushed, I mean.
ありがとう。
I mean, she definitely likes Keiichi-kun, right?
レナが来るまでずーっと待ってる。いつまでも。
Rena turned bright red, steam rising from her head as her brain short-circuited. She's especially weak to this sort of talk. It's quite rare to find someone this fun to tease.
レナはロマンスものの文庫本は読んだことあるか？
ないよ。読んだことない。
From that response, I gathered she was interested in them, but was too embarrassed to actually buy one. I couldn't imagine what would happen if she did read one, though. She'd probably turn red and pass out.
そうそう。お袋から伝言。漬物サンキューでしたって。
Yeah, thank you for the pickles.
どういたしまして。どうだった？しょっぱくなかったかな？
They weren't that salty. Honestly, I haven't eaten pickles in my life. No, except maybe from burgers, right? But like actual pickle, the big one, right? No, I actually haven't done that. Actually, they had a pretty light flavor to them. I actually haven't seen a pickle, like a big pickle, like in a jar and something like that. I haven't seen that. It would have been fine to just be honest and say they were good, but apparently I couldn't be that forthright.
その前に聞きたい。あの漬物を漬けたのはレナか？レナのお母さんか？
なんで聞くんだろう。しょっぱかった？
Her attitude completely changed as she began to panic frantically.
レナか？レナのお母さんか？
なんで作った人聞くんだろう。太郎。
どっちが作ったかで感想が著しく変わる。
She counted frantically on her fingers, trying to remember the amount of salt she used to pickle them. It wasn't like I was trying to tease her, but I couldn't stop myself. Guys who take pleasure in this kind of things are probably the worst, guys like me. Rena nervously opened and closed her mouth over and over, trying to muster a response.
レナだけど。
It was me.
うまかった。前回に続きなかなかだったぜ。飯との相性は最高だった。
Her face went bright red again. She was completely spacing out. It truly was a lot of fun to tease her. I pray that Rena never gets taken advantage of by some lowlife. Keep at it, Rena. I'll train you until you handle it like the average person. Or so I decided for myself.
行こうぜ。ミオンを待たせるとあいつうるさいぞ。
Seeing as she just keeps spacing out otherwise, I called Rena back to reality so we could make our way to school. This strange, easily flustered girl is Rena Ryugu. I've only known her for about a month, but I've come to realize it's not just her name that's strange. Okay. Wait, what's strange about her though? She seemed normal.
Mi-chan, ohayo.
Mi-chan. Coming up to the next rendezvous point, we saw another person waiting for us. Noticing us, she waved.
お、来た来た。遅いよ二人とも。
いつも遅いのはお前の方だろ。
In sharp contrast to the diligent Rena, this one marched to the beat of her own drum. She's Mion Sonozaki. So Rena Ryugu and Mion Sonozaki. For what's it worth, she's our senior and the head of the class.
おはようレナ。そしてケイちゃんお久しぶり。何年ぶりだっけ
2日しか休んでねえよ。
So how old are they, by the way? Like, I guess like 13, 14, right? Something like that.
そうだっけか前に会った時はこんなにちっちゃくて可愛かったのにな。
Mion's gaze started at my chest, then dropped straight down, focusing on the point between my legs. What? So she was saying it was my crotch that was cuter back then. Before you ask, just to be clear, I've never actually tried to show it to her. Okay, there's no voice acting suddenly. I've grown quite splendidly. You'd be surprised. Not only is he bigger, but he has a little mustache now. What? Being so engorged with energy every morning is quite a problem though. I'll introduce you next time, so be sure to greet him properly. Okay, what? Don't say next time, right now is just fine. How about letting the little guy get a breath of fresh air in the morning? I don't think I've ever heard talk so dirty you could smell it fouling up the morning air before. And Mion sure does act like an old man sometimes. Gotcha. Time for the big reveal then. Hope you don't regret it. As my hand reached for my fly, Rena began to rumble in near panic. Okay, the voice acting is back. So the voice acting is from the mod as well. So I don't know why it's like they're a little bit there. It was gone and now it's back again. Red-faced and flustered, Rena tried to play dumb, but it was obvious she knew exactly what we're talking about.
どうだった？久しぶりの都会はさ。
Mion switched gears, dropping a dirty talk and changing to the next topic, something more befitting the pleasant morning.
葬式で行っただけだぜ。慌ただしいだけだったよ。
でさ、探しといてくれた？頼んどいたやつ。
お前、人の話聞いてないだろ。俺は葬式で帰っただけだぜ。おもちゃ屋巡りをしてる余裕なんかなかったんだよ。
Toys.
ち。おもちゃ屋とホビーショップは全然違うよ。特に洋物、こっちじゃなかなか手に入らないからね。
So what did she want though?
みーちゃんまたゲームの話？
Oh, games, okay. Mion nodded proudly as Rena giggled.
そう、ケイちゃんに洋芸のカタログを持ってきてもらいたかったんだけどね。
Westport catalog? What is that? Westport was short for Western imported games, okay. Using that abbreviation, it did make it sound pretty geeky.
そんなのまた通販で取り寄せりゃいいじゃねえか。
ま、そうするかな。またプレイングの熱いゲームを入荷するからね。今度は私にも分かりやすいゲームがいいな。
Mion is a board and card game enthusiast, and I hear she's collected quite a lot of different ones. According to Arena, Mion's room has kind of become a museum for domestic and foreign games.
俺にも分かりそうなゲームがあったらやらせてくれよ。
いいよ。
ケイちゃんさえ良ければね。でもうちらのレベルは高いよ。
上等じゃねえか。俺だって遊び100番遅れを取るつもりはないぜ。
じゃあ今度はケイチくんも仲間に加わるのかな
We'll let you in the group this time? Bristling with joy from head to toe, Rena looked back and forth between me and Mion. Mion gave her an affirmative wink and her expression perked up even further.
男の子ってきっと外で遊ぶ方が好きだと思ってたからダメかと思ってたよ。
Rena laughed happily. From such a friendly conversation, you wouldn't think I had moved here less than a month ago. I understood that they did all they could to make a transfer student like me feel at home. I'll have to try harder to fit in so they won't feel like they have to try to make me feel welcome. I felt like if I acted a bit more open than I usually am, it should probably be about right for this place. Okay, is this the school now? Hinamizawa was really a small village. Not only was there only one school, but there was only one class. I mean, if it's a very small village, of course it's gonna only have one class, right? You don't really have a lot of children there. That class encompasses all different grades and ages. There are about 30 students at different levels and they all study in the same class. I'm told long ago, there used to be a bigger school building and they had actual separate classes. However, it seemed something happened that made it become a single class and now it stayed that way out of tradition. I was shocked at first, but humans adapt pretty quickly. I've already gotten quite used to it. The sound of children playing started right from the morning. With such a lively mood, it felt more like a kindergarten than a proper school. Not that that was such a bad thing. Mion, who had been walking in front of us up until then, suddenly let me take the lead, right in front of the classroom door. So I was meant to slide the door open and enter the room first. Too bad I wasn't going to fall for that again, so they're gonna try to prank him, I guess.
ここで先頭を譲るとはな。お手並み拝見ってことかよ。
Mia chuckled with a haughty smirk on her face.
どうしたの二人とも。
下がってろレナ、危ないぞ。やつだ。
She's here.
じゃあ、さとこちゃんが
New character Satoko-chan. Her name is Satoko Hojo. She was a disrespectful, impudent, bossy kid. The way she talks was annoying, but it would be immature to get worked up over just like that. The real problem was this. I guess she likes to do a lot of pranks. Oh, that's a classic though. Yeah, put a eraser on the door, basically. A haughty laugh came from beyond the door.
お見事、ケイちゃん。こりゃ今回は勝負あったかな。
いや、相手はサトコだ。これだけとは思えない。
After failing for such intricate traps since the day I transferred, I no longer let my guard down. Sadako liked to combine a variety of traps that were simply there to bait you into the main one, traps that relentlessly kept coming at you like a sadistic Rube Goldberg machine, the list goes on. As well as being clever, they almost never misfire. When you least expect it, she strikes. No escape, no time to
見たと
relax.
ころ黒板消しは普通。石とかは入れてないみたいだな。
I took a pretty heavy hit from the blackboard eraser loaded with rocks. What? Loaded with rocks on my first day?
じゃあさ、ガラガラって開けて落としちゃえばいいんじゃないかな。
それだ。
That's what Satoko was after. making me focus my attention upward. So as I lifted my hand to the door, there were thumbstack stuck to the sliding door handle with tape. A frightening trap. Dude, that actually is gonna hurt you. A potent and terrifying trap, concealed by using the blackboard eraser.
見事なコンボだサトコ。だが所詮はガキの浅知恵だったな。
Assured of my victory, I threw the door open and stepped into the room. I felt something strange at my ankle. It was similar to the sensation of a jump rope catching my leg. And by the time I realized she had me hook, line, and sinker, and it was already too late, I began to fall in an almost picturesque manner.
ケイちゃん避けて。
Instinctively reacting to Mion's shrill warning, I twisted my body in mid-air before I landed on the floor.
いっててって。
An inkstone filled to the brim was placed right where I would have landed. I shuddered imagining the situation had I landed square on it. So this is Satoko.
おはようございますケイチさん。朝から賑やかですわね。
She's much younger than them. Still sprawled in an awkward position, I was greeted by a mocking voice.
一段とスペシャルなトラップワークになったじゃないかサトコ。
私何のことかわかりませんもの。朝からついてませんわね。
てめえ。あいっててててて。
It seemed I'd inadvertently sprained my back a little when I'd landed. Better than landing on that inkstone. A small hand gently rubbed my head.
ケイチの痛いの痛いの飛んでいけです。
I like how the different characters have different hair colors, so we can, how do I put this, differentiate them, right? The small dainty hand continued to gently stroke my head.
腰とかはくじかなかったですか？こうして撫でていれば痛いのは消えてきますです。
I thought about asking how rubbing my head would help my back, but I didn't. It's not so much about what you actually do, it's a thought that counts.
ありがとな。リカちゃんのおかげで痛みが引いてきたぜ。
リカちゃん、おはよう。レナにおはようございます。みんなにもおはようございますです。
Rika-chan greeted each of us with an adorable little bow. It was infectious. Rena, Mion, and I all bowed back.
リカちゃんはいい子だよな。それに比べてサトコ。
I glared over in her direction. Satoko was whistling while rather deliberately trying to avoid eye contact.
サトコはいい子でございますのことよ。
いい子はこんな凶悪な罠は仕掛けないぞ。
言いがかりでございますわ。何の証拠があって？
I picked up Satoko by the back of her collar. She looks like a misbehaved cat when I do this. I mean, she looks like a cat though. Look, she has a tooth. But a cat wouldn't be setting traps. She's much harder to deal with.
ごめんなさいって言ってみな。言わないなら。
I cocked my index finger on my thumb, letting it tremble as I brought it closer to Satoko's forehead.
暴力反対ですの。証拠もないのに。
I'm against violence? What do you mean?
言っとくが俺のデコピンはすごく痛い。ベニヤくらいなら割る。
やめて、寄らないでけだもの。
人様が聞いたら誤解するような言い方をするんじゃねえ。
True. A small hand tugged on the back of my shirt. It's the other kid, Rika.
圭一が2日間もお休みしたから寂しかったのです。
Rika-chan released just so... How could I do anything more after being told that? I gently released my grip on Satoko, who at this point was on the verge of tears. She still had her eyes clamped shut as she braced herself for the forehead flick.
悔しくなんかないもん。泣いちゃダメです、さとこ。
Honestly, they're like complete opposites, alright? Rika and Satoko.
ファイト、おーです。
Rika gently petted the head of her prankster friend. You would never guess those two are the same age. I think Satoko could learn a thing or a million from Rika-chan.
今度はもっとすごい罠を仕掛けなさいですよ。
Wait a minute. Look at her eyes, man. As she observed the scene, Rena's expression grew ecstatic as she began to swoon.
さとこちゃん泣いている。かわいいよ。
So cute.
持ち帰っちゃダメだからね。
だってこんなにかわいいよ。
どんなに可愛くてもダメなの。
No matter how cute they are.
でもちょっとくらいならダメかな。
Rena kept a cutesy face even as outrageous ideas spewed from her mouth. According to Mion, Rena is ridiculously weak to cute things and always tried to take them home. Object or person.
物もまずいが誘拐はもっとまずいぞ。諦めろ。
じゃあ見てるだけだよ。それならいいよね。
Rena swooned over Satoko's crying form. If a girl goes or ever goes missing in Hinamizawa, I'll be forced to turn Rena into the authorities. Forgive me, Rena. I'll be sure to bring you care packages when they put you away.
先生来たよ。
Sensei is here.
早く片付ける。さとこ、すずりあんたのでしょ。
Just from a Mion single statement, the entire mood of the room shifted back to normal. The inkstone was bad, but the thumbstacks, yes, stuck to the door handle were an even bigger problem. I pulled the tape off carefully, making sure not to skewer myself. Who does that though? Even though Satoko was the one who set it up, everyone had to pick up after her. By the time the teacher entered the room, the bedlam from before had been neatly tied up.
間に合ったね。起立。気をつけ。
Mion gave out the morning commands. It's difficult being a teacher for all these different grades in one classroom. I can't imagine though, right? She has to teach something different to each one. But naturally she ends up spending up all her time with the younger kids. Rena and Mion, being the highest grade in the class, end up mostly doing self-study. They even end up helping teach the younger kids, so it seems like they can never get to their own studies. They're actually way behind where my studies have progressed to. As a result, I'm pretty much taking over for the teacher and helping Rena and Mion with their studies.
ケイチ君はお勉強教えるのうまいね。わかりやすいよ。
Rena took a breather after finishing the highlighting an important section.
教える端から自信がなくなるよ。自分の理解の浅さがわかるな。
人に教えるには3倍理解してなければならないって言うしね。ケイちゃんもうちらに教えながら同時に復習もできてるわけなんだよ。
In contrast, this person over here is quite, how do you pronounce this? Laissez-faire? Well, I don't know. How about things? For one, isn't she supposed to be in a higher grade than me?
ミヨンさ、 人事じゃないぞ。真剣にやんないとまずいぜ、こんなレベルじゃ。
別に進学校を目指すわけでもないし、受験に必要なそこそこができてりゃ十分十分。
Her staunch defiance was really something else. This was definitely a different type of relaxed than somebody who already knew what was going on or was going to be on the entrance exams.
みーちゃん、ケイチくんが頑張って教えてくれるんだからさ、私たちも頑張ろうよ。
レナは素直ないい子だな。先生がきっといい学校に進学させてやるからな。
ありがとう。
She's blushing again.
レナには特に教えてやるからな。二人きりでプライベートレッスンだぞ。
She's gonna say just the two of us?
プライベートレッスン。
A puff of smoke shaped like a halo popped out of Rena's head. Exactly what kind of private lesson is she fantasizing about that's making her turn so red? I'd like to hear the play-by-play of that next time. While Mion was flipping through her vocabulary flashcards, she threw out a casual question.
都会じゃさ、こんなに勉強しなきゃいけないわけ？
この程度はできないと進学できないね。
進学できないから勉強するわけ？
まあ平たく言えばそうなるな。将来役に立たないのは承知で。
こっちじゃあさ、出席日数が足りてりゃみんな進学できるんだよ。
そうなのか？
Study equals entrance exams. Having that basic law of the universe so easily overturned sent me into a state of shock.
そうかもね。試験で振り落とさなきゃならないほど人もいないし。誰でも進学できるならさ、そんなにガリガリとやることもないんじゃない？
まあそうだけど、でも一般常識程度にはできた方が。
おじさんはそんな無駄な勉強に時間をかけるよりさ、この思春期の貴重な時間をもっと有意義に過ごすために使うべきじゃないかなと考えるわけよ。
It was too profound of a statement to simply laugh off. But since it was Mion, it probably didn't actually have that deep of a meaning. In the place of a chime, the sound of the principal waving a handbell drifted through the classroom.
ケイちゃん、おしまいおしまい。さあ、楽しいランチタイム。
In a complete 180 from her unmotivated state, Mion gave the commands that signaled the end of the morning period.
ケイチくん、お昼にしよう。
Ichi-kun. I might have been making a very troubled face. Rena smiled brightly at me.
よっしゃ、飯にするか。
What are we eating today? There seemed to be a different cliques even within, or cliche cliques, cliche even within the class. Most of them were divided up by gender and age, but our group was different. Our ages were different and we had boys and girls. Boys and girls, you're the only boy there though. But we weren't reserved around each other. This level of openness makes a transfer student like me pretty happy. Rena and Mion pushed their desks together and so they were facing each other. At the same time, Satoko and Riko-chan were slowly lugging their desk over as well.
ケイチくん、早く早く。
Rena waved her chopsticks in an unrefined manner, trying to hurry me along. Unless everyone was together, they wouldn't even open their lunch boxes.
ケイチさんのお弁当は耳ちく日の丸弁当に決まってますわ。
Plain, miserly rice and seaweed.
さあ、恥ずかしがらずにお見せなさいな。ほらほら。
Even though Satoko was hurling insults at me, she still wouldn't open the lid to her lunchbox until I was there. I pulled out my lunchbox swiftly and dragged my chair over to join the circle.
おう、お待たせ。
ではミー委員長の号令でいただきますです。
At first, this was kind of embarrassing, but I got used to it pretty fast. At this point, I probably wouldn't even open my own lunchbox if someone else was too slow. Our age and genders may have all been different, but we were all friends.
いただきます。
The sound of our little 5-part chorus echoed beautifully through the classroom. Oh, actual scene. Really though, I've gotten pretty used to this group made up of all girls. And of course, there are other boys in the class, but they were a lot younger, so they were scared to approach me. Well, that's to be expected. Younger boys just see older boys as scary. Compared that to girls, well, at least these girls aren't picky. We put all the side dishes in the middle where everybody was free to pick at them. I thought girls would mind sharing a meal with a guy, so I was a bit flustered joining in. However, Mio noticed that and teased me quite a bit. As for the fruit of my efforts, I can now reach over and take sides from anybody's lunch.
あらあら、ケイチさんのお弁当は今日は大奮発ではございませんこと。
あらあら、さとこさんのお弁当こそ大奮発ですこと。煮物がしっくていい感じですわ。
Buying into the fight that Satoko was starting, our chopsticks locked in a cross counter, stabbing into each other's lunch.
ビビ
お、里芋がいい感じだぞ。
Taro?
煮物は冷めててもうまいよな。
What is Taro again? I forgot. After seeing my happy face, Rika-chan's expression broke into a little smile.
夕べの夕食の煮物少し取っておきましたですよ。
By the way, Satoko and Rika-chan's lunches are always the same. It seems that Rika-chan makes it for both of them every day. What, this little kid is making them lunches? Are you serious?
この煮物もリカちゃんが作ったのかい？こいつはお袋の味クラスだよな。
I was honestly impressed. The carrot rosé weren't from a mold. They were done by a hand with a knife. That's not easy to do.
リカちゃんって何気にそういうの得意なんだよな。
お裁縫とかお洗濯とかも上手なの。すごいよね。すっごいよね。リカはいろいろとすごいんですのよ。
What was that laugh?
お前が威張ることじゃねえ。
僕よりレナの方がお料理は上手です。あ、そのね。
It seemed that the topic of the conversation switched to Rena when she wasn't expecting it, making her blush and trip over her words. Rena's lunch really was a star of the table, though. Not only did it look good, it tasted good. Everyone else pulled from Rena's lunch box constantly.
これ前に評判良かったからいっぱい作ってみたの。美味しいかな？
かなり合格点。あ、ミオ、お前取りすぎだよ。
Knocking Mion's chopsticks aside, I reached out trying to secure my own portion. Satoko and Rika-chan reached over at the same time and a struggle ensued. Everyone shoveled in a mouthful after mouthful while praising it, and Rena's lunchbox was soon empty. It was kind of bad that no one thought to leave any for Rena, so Rena couldn't eat any of the things she made. But Rena seemed rather satisfied as she looked on. But yeah, I guess she's grateful that people are eating her food.
いかがかしら。レナさんもとてもお料理が上手ですことよ。ケイチさんとは大違いですの。
だからお前が威張ることじゃねえだろ。
サトコだってケイちゃんと変わらないじゃんよ。あんたブロッコリーとカリフラワーの区別つくようになったわけ？
Broccoli and cauliflower. Satoko's face went pale.
おい
What
おい、
happened?
ブロッコリーとカリフラワーの違いなら俺だってわかるぜ。
わかりますもの。わかる
It's really hard for her to lie.
ケイチくん、どっちでも茹でてマヨネーズかけると美味しいじゃない？
What, mayo? Cauliflower? Broccoli?
いじめちゃかわいそうだよ。みーちゃんも。
Mayo with broccoli and cauliflower? I haven't tried that. Rena hurriedly tried to follow up, but Mion laughed haughtily as she drew closer to Satoko.
まあまあ家庭科の授業ってことで。じゃあさとこ、これは？
Mion lifted up her chopsticks. Between them was a piece of green stuff wrapped in bacon.
でもそれアスパラ。
Asparagus. Mion made eye contact with me, and within 0.3 seconds, I had Rika-chan's mouth covered. Holding a piece of bacon wrapped asparagus and giving her two choices. She's pretty terrible.
黄色がカリフラワー、緑がカリフラ。
さあどっちだ？ん？
多分黄色がブロッコリーで青がカリフラワー。でも緑は
本当にどっちか分かってる？降参した方が良くない？
I'd expect no less from the class representative. The oldest. The way she drives people into a corner just shows how much experience she has. This is just a hunch, but being brought into the Sonozaki household must be quite the ordeal.
わかりますもの。わかるもん。
じゃあ答えなよ。
わかるもん。わかるもん。
Jesus Christ. She finally broke down and started crying. When she acts like this, she actually starts to seem her age, I mean. The Rena is pretty funny, I'm not gonna lie. Rena entered a state of euphoria as Sadako bawled her eyes out. Rena was in a state of bliss as she rubbed her cheek against Satako's hand and smothered her. Really a very content face. One that wouldn't care if the world ended right there. It was that kind of smile.
レナ、ミオンさんがいじめるんですの。かわいいかわいい。大丈夫だよ。レナお姉ちゃんが悪い人たちはやっつけちゃうからね。
Rena One-chan. Oh! It was like a flash of lightning.
今一体何が？
Both of Rena's fists shot out at supersonic speed, striking Mion and me squarely in our faces. Before we knew it, Mion and I were sprawled spread eagle on the floor, staring up the ceiling with matching welts on our faces.
ケイちゃんは食らうの初めてだよね。今日のはまだ甘い方。
甘いってこれよりまだ上があるってのかよ。
With that, Mion and I both slumped our heads back on the floor in unison. From now on, I'll be careful when I'm within striking distance of Rena.
ほらさとこちゃん、やっつけちゃったよ。かわいい。お持ち帰りしたい。
Making sure Rena couldn't see it, Satoko stuck her tongue out at us. Damn it all, using Rena like a puppet there. She was just pretending. Rika-chan massaged her bruises without saying a word. Class is over, I suppose? No matter what the day had held, the last school bell always came too soon. Our shadows stretched off into the distance.
ねえケイチくん、明日はさ、何か予定とかあるかな？
It was such a direct question from Rena, I inadvertently blushed. If it was a date or for a date, then wouldn't you do it more subtly? Rena saw me lost for words and realized that I'd misunderstood and turned red as well.
違うの、そういうのじゃなくて、その。
So apparently that wasn't what she meant. But since it's always fun when Rena's in a panic, I went along with it a little.
なんだ、そういうのじゃないのかよ。
Playing it up, I slumped my shoulders, feigning dejection.
ケイチくん、なんでがっかりしてるんだろう、太郎。みーちゃん。
Unable to hold it any longer, Mion slapped me on the back.
そっか、そういう攻め方はおじさん知らなかったわ。
Mion was rolling on the floor, clutching her stomach while Rena flailed around, completely bewildered. I couldn't help but start laughing as well. Feeling just a bit guilty, I ruffled Rena's hair.
嘘、ごめん、冗談。悪かったよ。
She really is a cute one.
冗談ってどこからだろう、どこからだろう。
途中から。
途中からってことはケイちゃん、最初の真っ赤になったのはあれ演技じゃないんだ。
それって。
It was only a momentary lapse, but there was no way Mion would let such a delectable detail slip by her.
いや、その。
Saying anything more was also a bad idea. In my bewildered state, I slipped further into an unfavorable position. After that, Mion continued to tease me about it for a while.
で、明日が暇だと何なんだよ、レナ。
何の話だっけ。
It had been so long that Ren had forgotten that how long Mion had teased me.
ケイちゃんさ、まだこのひなみ沢一人じゃ回れないでしょ。
That was true. I hate to say it, but if you blindfolded me and spun me around 3 times, like we're playing pin the tail on a donkey, I wouldn't be able to tell up from down here.
そうだな。街へ行くのと学校へ行く以外はまだ自信ないな。
そうそう、それでね、明日ね、みーちゃんとレナでお散歩しながらケイチくんにひなみ沢を案内してあげようよってことになって。
That would be a godsend, frankly. I was happy about the offer.
もちろん行くでしょ。
暇ならな。
女の子が誘ってんじゃん。
暇ならな。
どうせ暇なんでしょ。
暇ならな。
I was being so stubborn so as not to give a clear yes or no. Even though I thought it was a godsend, I'm too much of a scamp to say so up front.
ケイチくん、暇じゃないのかな、この。
While Mion and I had our rather sour back and forth, Rena peeked over at me hesitantly. Figuring I'd been a bit too rough on her, I just gave in.
すまん、許せ、ごめん。暇だ。
よかった。
The trepidation disappeared from Rena's face as it blossomed into a smile.
おうおう。ミヨンさんとレナさんじゃ随分と温度差がありますじゃん。
It seems Mion didn't care for how rude I was to her compared to how quickly I agreed with Rena. But her being annoyed was very interesting. So I pushed Rena forward, speeding up her pace to leave Mion
行
behind.
こうレナ。明日は二人っきりで出かけような。嫌味なミオンは置いてって。
ケイチくんがそれでいいなら。
案内しようって提案したのは私。しかとすんな前原圭一。
二人きりでピクニック嬉しいな。弁当は持ってくかレナ。
お弁当いるならレナ作っちゃおうかな。
レーナもしかとすんな。二人がラブラブだって村中に回覧板を。
I got
じゃあ
smacked.
レナ今日は早く帰ってお弁当の準備するね。明日が楽しみ。じゃあねケイチくんにみーちゃんさようなら。
Rena bounded off like she was walking in the moon. After the dust settled, all that was left was me standing next to Mion, sprawled out on the ground. There was a welt on her face.
大丈夫か？ミオンとレナの立ち位置2メートルは離れてたはずだぞ。
あんたが来て以来切れ味は増す一方。おじさん身が持たないわ。
Maybe it'd be easier if you stopped saying stuff that makes Rena want to hit you. Or else, this will end up being Mion's slapstick comedy hour. If that happened, the results might be fatal.
くじけるなよミオン。レナのジャブを見切れるのはお前しかいない。
私は膝じゃないかと思ってんだけどね。
Could it be that we were hanging around with an unrivaled martial arts master? Maybe someday we'll see her debut in an entrance or extreme, contact
レ
sport.
ナには負けられないぞ。ミオンも鍛えてリベンジだ。
ケイちゃんがしてよ。おじさんは応援してる。
Mion and I reaffirmed our determination to discover a way to counter Rena's infallible technique. Okay, what happened? Higurashi when they cry. New tips, we're a mixed grade. We don't have a uniform. What is this? Wait, what? What do you mean view new tips? What is this? It's a different... Okay, let's view both of this then. We're a mixed grade. So what are these, like extra scenes or something? Okay, let's check this both out
レ
before
ナっ
we
て
end.
さ、俺と同い年だったよな。
うんそうだよ。干支も同じだよね。
Same zodiac animal. Okay, hey now, it would be weird if we're the same age but not the same zodiac animal.
そんなことないよ。誕生日の違いがあれば年齢が同じでも干支が違うこともありえるって。
I mean, yeah, true though.
あれ？あ、そうか。ミオン、頭いいじゃないか。
Yeah, Keiichi, you're dumb as hell.
ところでケイチくんは何月生まれなのかな。レナは7月なんだよ。
Rena smirked and puffed up with pride. Hey now, what's the meaning of this? She's not planning to be all high and mighty if her birthday is a wee bit sooner than mine, is she?
だが諦めろ。俺に誕生日で挑もうったって無駄なことだ。なんならどっちが年上か罰ゲーム付きで勝負してもいいぜ。
なんでだろう。なんでだろう。
Rena panicked at suddenly being challenged to a wager. Given how panicked she is, I'm certain she doesn't have much allowance left this month. It's just sending her into panic about something as simple as a birthday is so fun I can't help myself.
ってことはケイちゃん、ひょっとして4月生まれ？
そういうこったな。残念だなレナ。
You're a lion, April.
俺もうとっくにレナより年上なんだよ。
へえ、そうなんだ。じゃあみーちゃんと同い年なんだね。
まあほんの何ヶ月かはね。すぐにまた差を開いてあげるけどさ。
Mion snickered through her nose. Hey now, that's not something to get all high and mighty about. As if I'm one to talk though.
そういえばミオンって上級生なんだよな。
下級生の方が燃えるってんなら、今日から下級生ってことでもいいけど。
みーちゃん、よくわかんないこと言ってる。
Just by seeing Rena's blushing face, you could tell she knew exactly what she meant by it though.
でサトコとリカちゃんが下級生とどころか学校が違うくらいの下級生だよな。
圭一くんはちょっと好みの年齢が低すぎると思うな。
What? You're not making any sense to yourself, Rena. What is she saying? I'll just grab onto her head and scruff it up a bit.
はあ、やめて。
前から思ってたんだけどさ、なんでこの学校ってクラスが学年混在なんだ？
教室の数が足りないからだよ。仕方ないじゃん。営林署の建物を間借りしてんだからさ。
When she says it like that, it makes sense. I've thought our school was strange for a while now. The schoolyard is gravel, there are rooms that aren't for classes, and there's some strange sort of construction machinery parked here.
なんで借りてるんだよ。本当の学校はどうしちゃったんだよ。
戦前からずーっと立ってたらしいからね。老朽化でね。廃校ってわけよ。
It probably was a grand old schoolhouse.
まあそれで生徒は町の学校に通うことになったんだけどさ。遠いでしょ？
どこの学校だったの？
沖宮の駅前通りを抜けて病院に曲がって小児科の向かいに学校あるの分かる？
へえ、遠いよ。
I couldn't tell where that was by the location, but I understood it was pretty far from Rena's reaction.
まあそんなわけでさ、沖宮の学校に通いたくない連中はこうして営林署の建物を間借りした仮校舎に通ってるってわけさ。
南沢の子供の半分くらいかな。朝早くに自転車で通ってる子たちも結構いるよ。
まあこんなはちゃめちゃな学校に通ってたら進学校とかはちょっと無理だろうからね。
そんなことないよみーちゃん。ちゃんと頑張ればどこでだってお勉強はできるよ。
お、そうだぞそうだぞ。レナとは意見が一致したな。
そうだね、そうだね。頑張ろう。
せいぜい頑張ってくださいな。おじさんはささやかに応援しとりますわ。
俺たちがじゃないぞ、ミオンがだぞ。お前受験生だろ。こんな成績じゃお先真っ暗だぞ。
いいもんいいもん。路頭に迷ったら永久就職してケイちゃんに食わせてもらうから。
永久就職ってなんだろう、なんだろう。
ほらそこうるさいですよ。
Chie? Who's this?
自習は静かに。
Oh, the teacher. The teacher yelled at all three of us. It was completely our fault. Satoko, look at that face, man. Satoko saw it and chortled haughtily. I stuck out my tongue at her in response. It's just as Mion says, this school has nothing to do with higher education. But it makes up for that by having lots of valuable things other schools don't. So we are a mixed grade, but yeah, they talk about a lot of different stuff. Okay, we don't have a uniform. But honestly, it's much better though if you don't have a uniform, honestly. It's only June, but it's already so hot. Especially if, yeah, it's hot like this, right? I can hear the Higurashi outside chirping at me, and at night there are mosquitoes. Because, yeah, if you don't have a uniform, you could wear shorts, I mean. Imagine if you're wearing pants, very thick clothes. I mean, but yeah, I guess though, like, schools in Japan have, what do you call that? Summer uniforms, and then they have their other uniforms at winter. I don't know, man. I haven't been there. My only salvation was that the mornings were so cool.
暑いでございますわね。
Sadako was flapping her skirt longedly? What does that mean? That's pretty unladylike there. Even if she was a little brat, she still was a girl.
ケイチさんはワイシャツ一枚で涼しそうですわね。羨ましいですわ。
俺から見りゃスカートのサトコの方が涼しそうだよ。この時期のズボンがどれだけ暑いか女のお前にはわかるまい。
True.
暑いって。
What are you thinking about, Rena? The girl has gone imagining something indecent.
レナの夏服は涼しそうな色合いがいいよな。見てるこっちも涼しくなる。
But yeah, what Rena is wearing is like summer clothes, right? Yeah.
ありがとう。
Like, for example, it rains and this gets wet. It's pretty much see-through, right? Because of how thin, what do you call this, the fabric is.
本当に涼しいんだよ。私もレナさんみたいな涼しい夏服が良かったですわね。でもさとこちゃんの夏服ワンピースですっごい可愛いし、レナはさとこちゃんの夏服着てみたいな。
One Piece.
これ結構蒸しますわよ。絶対にレナさんの方が涼しいですわ。でも可愛い服の方がきっと楽しいよ。はう。
Cute clothes. I had a feeling that Rena and Satako's base values were fundamentally different.
そういえばこの学校って指定の制服とかないんだよな。
ないよ。
But you guys, though, for example, would you prefer a school with uniforms or school without uniforms? But yeah, for
ふ
me,
さわしい服であれば私服でも大丈夫なんだよ。
when I went to school, yeah, pretty much all uniformed, yes. There are quite a few students in regular clothes. There were a few wearing uniforms, but they were all the same design and rather plain.
他の連中が着てる制服は何なんだよ。みんなお揃いだよな。
あれは町の学校の制服なんですのよ。別に決まってるわけじゃないですけど、みんな着てますわね。
そこへ行くと俺らの仲間はみんないろいろな制服を着てるよな。わざわざどこかから取り寄せたのか？
ええ、ミオンさんが調達してくださいますの。みーちゃんの親類で古着商をやってる人がいて、全国の学校の服を格安で仕入れてるんだって。
でその親類に頼んでいろいろ個性的な制服を取り寄せてもらってるわけか。
That Mion, she probably loves using her friends as dress-up dolls. That must be a strange second-hand clothing store. I get that it's a second-hand clothing store, but stocking clothes from schools all over the country? That's pretty strange for a second-hand clothing store. What's the point in stocking up clothes from faraway schools they don't know nothing about?
それはレナも思うよ。他にも体操服とかスクール水着のお風呂とかも扱ってるの。そういうののお風呂はちょっと嫌だよね。
あんまり儲かってなさそうな商売だな。きっと少しでも儲けさせるためにミオンが一肌脱いでやってるんだろうな。
でもいつもミオンさんが自信満々に言いますのよ。今にきっと大ブレイクしてすごい商売になるって。
as secondhand clothing stores that stock school uniforms will be a big hit? I don't get it. True. Okay, we're done with this too. What happens if I exit though? Okay, let me just save first. Okay. So yes, we will end our first episode there for Higurashi. First ever episode in this channel. So yes, what do you call this? It's very nice that it begins, I guess, with a slice of life thing. I mean, I expected this because I know that there are a lot of chapters, right? Who knows if we get even action in one chapter, right? How long is a chapter, by the way? But yeah, maybe, I mean, these are separate games though, so I'll be expecting like at least 10 hours, maybe 8 to 10 hours per chapter, right? Because if they have this like separated, so it's probably long, right? But yeah, I like the slice of life that it shows, at least in the beginning. It's nice, and it pretty much shows us the characters, how they are, how they act, and we have Keiichi and his friends, Rena, the orange-haired girl, and then we got Mion, green-haired girl, and then we have the two much more smaller kids, Rika with the blue hair and Satoko. What do you call that? What is Keiichi calling her again? The brat. That brat Satoko with the blonde hair. So it's nice that they have pretty much different looks to easily differentiate each of them, right? And they have their different personalities. Like Rena likes everything that is very cute. Satoko does her traps. Mion is the older sister type, right? The much mature one. And Rika is Rika's kind of mature, but she's much younger, I suppose, right? She's very calm, a little girl. But we will see. We will see when we have action in this game. But I'm not expecting it any soon right now. Maybe next episode. Hopefully we get action soon, I mean, but I'm not expecting it yet, as yeah, they're pretty much just introducing the characters to us right now. But we saw some action in the beginning, right? Like, I guess that is Keiichi, right? Smacking someone in the beginning. I guess it's him, most likely it's him, because we're playing in his perspective anyways. But the one he's smacking is probably one of Rena or Mion, right? Maybe one of them. You'll have to see, and I cannot wait for that part when we see that. But yes, I just want to say, if someone actually reached this part and watched the whole video, I just want to say thank you. I really appreciate it, and yeah, I just really appreciate it. And hopefully you join me on this adventure of this world called Higurashi When They Cry. So yes, we will continue this and do more of this game in the next one. So I'll just see you then, guys. Bye bye.